Well, Taurus, life will not be the same moving forward, and I know you feel this at least to an extent. But stepping into the month of September, I feel like people are about to respect you in ways that you haven't been receiving, all right? It's like people don't want to know you fully, but they want to get to know you. It's the sense of September really helping you see the bigger picture of things, giving you certain levels of insight, certain moments of clarity to help you shift things on forward and say, that may have annoyed me in the moment, but what about the bigger picture? What about the insight? What about the clarity? That was just such a rare, insignificant moment. Well, let's pull some Time Traveler Oracle for Taurus. There's something about you needing to travel. There's something about you being in one spot for too long and needing to be up and, moving, going, traveling again, experiencing more that life has to offer. It's the sense of spirit saying just because you're a grounded individual, just because you're an earthly type of soul, doesn't mean that you stay in one spot or the same, environment or multiple works for you on such a consistent basis. We got to break free and experience, because they're saying quite literally, as an earth sign, you're meant to explore the earth. But let's actually get some cards. This wants to come out. It feels like there's something about you needing to just kind of take a step back or put your hands up and let the guidance from spirit take over in such gentle ways. But we're beginning with abundance. Taurus, I feel like the abundance that you deserve has been held back to an extent. The abundance that you deserve will not be blocked, and nobody will be getting in the way of it, because I feel like one big form of which is going to be money. It's like money, money, money. But what about success, success, success? Because one leads to the other naturally. And I feel like they're wanting you to, envision the best and feel casual in the midst of doing so. Because there's this sort of, as a stutter a bit, there's sort of a stern way about how you envision the best at times. And it, kind of comes into play, I want to say, in ultra serious moments, maybe following a slight frustration or two. But when you envision what you foresee as maybe the next big leap of faith, or the next big chapter, or just maybe the end all be all, look at this imagery, right? Envision all of it, envision the best, and do not settle in the midst of which, because I feel like this collective as well has the old habit of just settling or even considering to do so, maybe because it's easier, but then they're saying easy doesn't always equal end up being what you truly deserve, right? And that can even create blockage, that can even create delays that aren't purposeful. As I get too uptight in the message, let me just shake it off a bit. We're going to go with that one oracle. Whew, the energy is just a little bit off for you, I feel. But I feel the off energy in the air is really giving each of you this prime chance to rewrite your story. You know what I mean? It's not to say you rush the exiting of a situation or dropping of another, but it does feel like all the meanwhile, where things don't feel perfect, where things feel off, maybe lacking some sort of alignment, it then pushes you to again think about, the abundance that you're receiving and all that you are meant to utilize it in regards to moving forward. Because they're saying improvement is the name of the game, not settling again is part of, the game as well. But they kind of want you to look at it as a game more so, where, think about it, for the most part, you're meant to enjoy a game, but there is an end result of winning or losing. And they're saying, think about it, you're meant to win this time, because your spiritual guides and otherwise are more than ever coming through easily, nicely, and gently, and very, very productively. So I sense that you're going to, need to sit back in your throne and let us do our thing. Let us take care of business and work certain things out that you should not and do not need to have your hands on. There's also something about the areas of your life kind of overlapping too much. It's this feeling of, say, you go into work and personal matters come up too much. Or you go home and you take your work matters into your living situation or your personal connections too much. It's about kind of trying to, not fully, but more so separate, the different areas so that you can feel the growth, the purposefulness, the success within each of which kind of coming to be in their own light and not being negatively affected by the other. The way I was just moving my hands, I feel like the number 3 and even they wanted me to say the color triangle. The shape of a triangle is significant for you, but it also feels like colors and sensations of importance are coming into play. You're also going to feel like people are wanting to better your reality so they can see things improve when it comes to what you guys are wrapped up with. Okay. There's also a feeling of this collective at times really getting away with things. And I don't see this being, say, a super illegal activity or whatever it may be, but it seems to be, you know, things at work. You know, you go against the grain where normally people don't get away with it, but you do. That's just a prime example. But anyways, for Taurus, it's also a feeling of some of you being so spiritually connected where you could utilize things, tools like Oracle, Tarot, you name it, other readers to gain the answers, but you could just sit there, you know, and Spirit will provide you what you need to know, maybe the answers that you want at that time more than ever. And it's not to say that you are necessarily a gifted spiritual soul. You could be. I feel there are at least some within this collective, but I want to say that you are ultra spiritual either way. And so it's working more in your favor. And that's the point that was being made. You can sit there and receive everything you need and want, and be prepared more than ever. And so I would say meditation could be quite handy for you. Okay. So anyways, I don't know why that just overwhelmed me. So we're moving on to, at the bottom of the deck, the beautiful 8 of Cups. Because Taurus, the month of September also highlights the fact that you at the end of the day need to do what's right for you. You can't be prioritizing, worrying about other people's potential reactions or their opinions, how they're going to feel about maybe a move of residence or a shift in your career, or maybe a shift within a connection or two. We have to prioritize what's going to work best for you. I want to say that you're going to see a lot of birds of importance, butterflies, significant bugs coming into play. It's like you're not in the most smiley energy, but there's so many things playing into that. I feel you're giving off a very improved kind of comeback energy. There's a sense of people really trusting you at this time. You're going to need to accept the fact that people will not be getting in the way like they once did, and that includes spiritual beings. Because you can hear there's a spirit trying to, you know, clog my throat so that I can't get the messages to you. Too bad, you know? But it feels like this is a time where it's like, in a sense, you need to begin again before you actually begin again, right? It's like one new beginning in the midst of continuance before you leap into what feels to be something huge, a big, big shift of importance. But it feels like all the meanwhile, you can't help but think about, again, the end all be all, the best of the best in what you truly want out of life. And so when this starts to come into play more and more and more, because you're a manifestor, you're a co-creator, don't be surprised. But I feel like you want to be left alone a lot. There's a sense of you feeling like things are messing with you at certain points. Things are getting in the way, but then they're actually really not. You need to take a deep breath and just recognize that at times it's the easier choice to disassociate. It's the easier choice to separate yourself. And I'm not saying don't trust your intuition when wanting to or feeling it's the best choice to stay in your lane or get back into it. But it feels like Spirit wants you to get back out there and connect with more people, accept the fact that that's part of the abundance that you truly deserve more than ever. Because it seems like you've maybe been hidden in the dark too much, or maybe too much of an isolated kind of loner. I'm not judging you, because I am completely that way. But when things affect you so heavily at times, it starts to create that sort of to yourself energy as maybe, you know, a defense mechanism or a safety precaution, if you will. And so now it's a time to rewire in that way or those ways and make sure that you are welcoming in, especially the new soulmate connections that lie further ahead. It's like they're preparing you for that. It's maybe less to do with the connections at hand currently. But The Queen of Wands says that you have no shortage of passion throughout the month, but it doesn't feel like you're using it 24/7. Good, that's realistic, that's smart. But it feels like that passion translates, it transitions into abundance, right? The word abundance just keeps wanting to come up because it's like too many times, too often up until this point, this abundant Taurus collective has felt a lack of abundance, or maybe has experienced a throwing away of that abundance, or a stripping away of it outside of your control. Regardless, it's time for you to receive. It's time for things to shift and change for you, so we don't expect and create the same damn results over and over and over and over and over again. But I also feel like there's something quite independent and maybe a bit showy about you. It's like at certain points, to be honest with you, you put on a show, right? Maybe you don't mean to, or you partially don't mean to, but then you gain this attention. People feel gravitated towards you. They want to bond with you or talk about it and maybe just chuckle in regards to it if it was, funny. But it just feels like at times then you're wanting to kind of push that attention away, push that connecting away. And it makes sense, right? Your past is playing very much into it, and some of your spirituality plays into it. But it's like this independence needs to now shine differently in a way where it welcomes in the connections, where it welcomes in all of the other levels of abundance and prosperity that you more than ever deserve, like we've been saying. But I do feel like there's some independent work throughout September that really is shining bright. There's a uniqueness about it and about you. What you choose to wear, Taurus, is going to hold great value for you. You're going to feel like you pick something and then it really plays into your work nicely. Or you pick something accessory-wise specifically, and it plays more than one, wow, that was a bug, plays more than one significant role within your day or maybe even your week. And so I feel on one note, it's reminding you how much you've changed, maybe how spiritual you are. But all the meanwhile, it's really giving you that key reminder that purpose is written all over your path, all over your existence. And now it feels like it's even more the case. And so let that give you comfort. Let that give you a sense of peace within, and even confidence to shift things on forward, and maybe even to take a risk, a leap of faith of importance. There's a significance to your left arm. It could be a tattoo, it could be a birthmark, a bruise for somebody. I don't know why I'm getting this. But the Three of Swords, the Eight of Swords in reverse, Three of Swords as well in reverse, and then the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel Spirit is saying that you're lacking the grounded energy that you normally have, but it may come into play very strategically. It may be something that's created by spirits because you've been too complacent or too stoic, too frozen at times, too stiff. And so shaking it off kind of helps you get going and, accomplish and shift things on forward. But we need to kind of maybe turn this in the sideways position and still feel grounded, but then get things going, But these two in reverse, talking about how you may be going through healing while you're noticing other people around you are more so going through that than you. And so if you're an empath, naturally you could feel like you're going through more of what they're going through because of their energy. But I do feel there's something about you feeling less entangled with difficulty or bad energy. You're feeling less trapped in. It's the new energy that you're within. It's the new shift of importance that we're preparing for, but it's also a shift that you went through recently. And so you're feeling a bit renewed in energy, maybe a bit more easygoing, but more motivated, more productive. And it just feels like you're really kind of taking charge in your own ways. And it's like certain things that were tying you down or making you feel ultra heavy, like you couldn't do what you were meant to do, that's coming into play because you deserve to feel free, right? You deserve to feel this ease within your life towards all that you deserve. Let's leave your reading at that. I hope it was truly helpful. I am sending you so much love and light. Take care, Taurus.